Woohoo! Don't mind if I do. Oh, that's where the Quickshifter works. It's a bit jerky low down, but zoinks! Wow, I'm at speed already. I'm also at 6th gear already. Well, I'm at highway cruising speeds instantly. 6,000 RPM, 6th gear, 68 miles an hour. That near vertical windshield gives a very good deflection off of my chest, getting a little bit of turbulence at the top of my head and at my temples, but not upsettingly so. At 5,900, 6,000 RPM, I don't have, well, I was going to say I don't have any, but I have negligible vibrations in my foot pegs and in my seat. My drive side, my throttle hand, has the most vibration sensations. The feedback is noticeable, and having only been on the road for 2 minutes and a 4-hour ride planned ahead of me, I will keep note about whether that is going to be an issue or not. It seems to like 68 miles per hour at 6,000 RPM, which is good because we live in a policing for profit state, and I've passed, in the 5 minutes I've been on this road, I've passed 3 speed cameras, and in my ride tonight I'm going to be passing a lot more. It's got a good geometry. These handlebars remind me of the handlebars on a Africa Twin. It actually feels a lot like an Africa Twin 1100. I get more Africa Twin vibes than I get GS vibes. I'm sitting higher up on the bike. The seat and the tank seem to be in line with one another. There's very little kind of tank rising away from me. So I feel like I'm sitting on top of the bike as opposed to in the bike. But that TFT display and that windscreen is doing a bit for protection, which is fine. And again, I'm not really pushing it. I'm just cruising at 67, 68 miles per hour at 6,000 RPM, 6th gear. And it seems that this is the comfort zone for it. If I blip the throttle, oh, haha, 7,000 RPM, I get 10 miles an hour on the speedometer. The vibrations though, I can't see out of my mirrors anymore, and I have vibration. That vibration in my right hand has become uncomfortable, and I have an uncomfortable vibration in my left hand now. That's 75 miles an hour, 73 miles an hour, 72 miles, 71 miles. Yeah, so 68, it doesn't feel like the engine is being strained. At 75, it feels like it's being strained. And anything over 70 miles an hour, I have an uncomfortable vibration in my handlebars. It's funny, this spin wheel, or pinwheel I should call it, is in the exact right spot where your turn signals should be, and the motion on it, the click motion on it, feels like you're engaging the indicator button, which means about 3 times now in this ride I have just engaged a button that's doing nothing for me, and I haven't engaged, and I have to move my hand over. I have to release my hand and move it over to engage that indicator button, which is not the best for me and my little Trump hands. Seat's a little hard. I'm getting a numb bum. 15 minutes into... It's funny, I saw another speed camera there, and I'm like, oh, I should slow down. I don't have to slow down. I'm going 66 miles an hour. So I feel like I'm going fast. I feel like I'm going fast on it, which is fun in a way, but as a motorway bike, I guess that's helpful in terms of avoiding tickets. If you're trying to get to where you want to go, you're going slower than you think. $6,000 to 7,000 RPM is very punchy. I'll have to check where peak performance is on the rev counter, because on the 310 you had nothing to get you around something. There was no overtaking power. But it's nice to know that there's a bit of overtaking power left in this throttle. Yeah, anything over 70 miles an hour, it's a marital aid. I'll check in with you up the road.
1 hour later.
I'm 2 hours on the bike now, all motorway and dual carriageway. My initial impressions are very positive. This bike has not let me down in any way. I turned off my camera for some of the long slog riding, and there were 2 instances where there was obstructions in the road that I had to do some pretty serious avoidance riding, and I was very impressed with how nimble this thing is. How light on its feet it is. But I'm not as fatigued as I thought I'd be. I really thought the vibrations were going to drive me nutty, or that the hard seat was going to be prohibitively uncomfortable when I was first on it. There's some things that I think are letting it down. There's some really thin metal here. I think that if this is an off-road bike, I'm pretty sure that would break. Like, it's not the most robust materials when you look really closely at it, which those welds are all right. I don't know, that one looks like it had a little correction on the back of it. That's the only thing that's really revealing its Indian manufacture. It's been riding really well, and the single disc on the front has not let me down. Okay, so this still says I'm out of gas, but I imagine it's just because it's got to get up to 10 miles an hour or whatever. Like when the ABS light goes off, it'll register. But I wonder, okay, onboard computer. I don't get a fuel gauge. I don't get a fuel gauge. That's odd. Alright, back on the horse. I'm not making the time I thought I would make, so this ride is going to take longer than I thought. When you sit on the highway for a while in a motorcycle, you tend to grow impatient with how slow everything is going. So you kind of have these little threshold speed limits, these threshold comfort levels, and then you creep up on it, and you creep up on it, and then you cross it, and then you creep up, and you creep up, and then you cross the next one. When I was first on the bike and first on the motorway, it was 68 miles an hour, 6,000 RPM. That's where my comfort level was with the vibrations in the handlebars. And now I think I've gotten past the 70 mile an hour threshold, and it's about 73 miles an hour indicated, and just a hair over 6,000 RPMs. What's nice is that there's still power, as I said earlier, still power to do some overtaking. And now it's 10 to 5 and I'm approaching Birmingham. So I am hitting Birmingham just in time for rush hour. Anyway, so I'll check in with you in a little bit, let you know how it's going. Miata. Coming into the Birmingham rush hour traffic now. I've been going for about another 41 miles from filling up with fuel, and I do find myself adjusting in my seat. I am getting a bit fatigued in my seat. I'm pleased with my experience. I'm about 2.5 hours into my ride, and I'm pleased with my riding experience on this bike. This is not disappointing. I am feeling it in my tush. My tush and the tops of my hammies are starting to get prickly. And definitely at speed, my throttle hand is asleep and my clutch hand is stimulated, let's say. So I guess this is as good a time as any to do a summation of my 500 miles in a day, 24 hours on the F450GS. My only criticisms are my sore but not painful bottom. I do have a pain in my throttle hand wrist after all of the vibrations, and that's only after a long slog on the highway over several hours with the vibrations. And the jerkiness of the automatic clutch, automatic transmission slash clutch in gears 1, 2, and 3. Other than that, and maybe some thin metal in a couple of bits, other than that, I am a fan of this motorcycle. I have run this thing through the ringer and it has not missed a step in any respect. It is a comprehensive motorcycle. And in actuality, it's probably a quintessential motorcycle in the fact that it is under 10,000 pounds. I think it's under 8,000 pounds, but it's under 10,000 pounds. It has all of the usability of all of the types of riding that a weekend warrior or an enthusiast or even a daily rider, the affordability and the usability and the just fun factor of it all makes it a winner in my book. If you look at the specs, it's not a performer, but man, did it perform over the last 24 hours. The people in the know. And I think there's going to be a good little following for this bike. And I'm definitely on board.
If you like that video and you want to see more like them, hit like, share, and subscribe.